Hey there in YouTube land, and last night I decided to go all epic with the Arrow stuff because of the Arrow mega sale that's going on right now. So I decided to do a similar thing today, and basically it's late at night, but I'm going to do it anyway. What I did is, as we all know, next month is the big Criterion sale. There's 2 every year, and from Barnes & Noble, half off. July is the big sale, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through my personal Criterion collection. Same as I did with the Arrow. I'll give you my thoughts on each one, suggestions, buy now, wait till later, and of course other stuff is subjective, but at least this way you guys get a little bit of an idea of what some ones are there that you may not have are, and and my personal thoughts on whether they're worth picking up right now or whether you should wait and get something else. So let's start right into it, and I'm going to start with Criterion DVD number 142, and that is The Last Wave, Peter Weir. Peter Weir is an acquired taste. This is the guy that put out the movie, I've got it here somewhere, Picnic at Hanging Rock. And let's do both of those at the same time, because yes, I have the original Picnic at Hanging Rock, the new, this number 29. Now, of course, the new Blu-ray of this is coming out, and Picnic at Hanging Rock and The Last Wave are both very, very unique films. You either like these or you don't. He leaves things very much open to interpretation, and he can be a little vague. For some people that's okay, and they love the visuals and they go along with it. Other people, like one of the producers or people that watched this movie and saw the ending, threw their cup across the room, and I can't say I blame them because there's some pretty frustrating things in both of these films, but I do enjoy them. I don't think either one of these are films that you're going to turn on and watch on a regular basis. But not all Criterions are like that, so they're thoughts, but they're not serious thoughts unless you're really, really into Peter Weir. Next up, of course, is Chasing Amy, and this is number 75 in the Criterion collection. This is a great one. I love Kevin Smith, though this one usually, I don't know about your way, but my way, this one comes up a lot in the cheap bin. You can pretty much always find this one. And so this would not be one that I would go for right away. Chasing Amy is a great one. This is an awesome Criterion edition, so if you don't have it and you really wanted to get Chasing Amy during the Criterion sale, it's a good film, but I don't think it's one of the essentials that you should pick up right away. However, the 39 Steps, the Alfred Hitchcock ones, if you haven't got these yet, I strongly recommend picking these up. This Alfred Hitchcock film is fantastic. Actually, all the Alfred Hitchcock movies put out by Criterion have had great releases. This is one of the ones I love. I love everything about these films. This is early stuff, is stuff that he did in Britain, and he seemed to be more raw, taking more chances, and gaining the Hitchcock style that he would get later on in movies. That some that I'll consider way more commercial. Next up is one that I absolutely adore, and that is number 35. Okay, we'll go 35. Okay, which is Diabolique. If you don't have this one, you really need this in your collection. Actually, see that name there, Henry George Clouzot. You need this. I don't have Wages of Fear, but you need Wages of Fear. These movies belong in every suspense thriller fan's collection. Just every fan of great movies. He does some amazing stuff, some amazing camera work. The ending to this, the kind of the twisting right now, seems a little bit kind of dated because we've seen this twist a million times, but you had it at this point, and there's some really great stuff. I love the cover art on this one here as well, and I strongly recommend this. It has some great stuff. The video introduction is incredible. Don't watch with the introduction first, though. Watch without it, because you don't want to have the movie spoiled for you, and the video introduction does spoil important parts of the film. Next up is A Night to Remember, and I personally love this film. It is my favorite version of The Sinking of the Titanic. There's some great stuff on here, and it has some really cool features as well. We've got A Night to Remember, 60-minute documentary, behind the scenes footage. We got archival interviews with survivor from the Titanic. There's a really kind of unique thing called The Iceberg That Sank the Titanic, a 50-minute BBC documentary that Michael Bay's it, and gives you the view of the iceberg. It's just really different. There's also a half-hour Swedish documentary that Interviews, Titanic Survivors, just some really cool stuff. I really enjoyed this one here. May not be for everyone, but Roy Ward Baker, great British director, did some Hammer stuff as well. Did this one here. Strongly recommend it. Great film, great visuals, great movie all around. And you will rewatch. Next up is one that I think is a given for anybody's collection, and that is Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is a fantastic film. Kurosawa is one of the greats. The visuals, the story, we all know it inspired Magnificent Seven. Spaghetti westerns all came from Kurosawa and stuff. And you know what? That's great. But go back and see this. It's really fantastic. That's a great package that they put together. Definitely one you should pick up. Next up is a personal favorite of mine. This one's not for everybody, but I personally really like this film, and it's number 175 in the Criterion Collection, and that is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. A very different film. Again, it's about Gonzo himself, and I really like that. Hunter S. Thompson was one of my idols growing up. Journalism was what I did. It's college first time round, and Hunter S. Thompson was one of the guys that I wanted to be like, despite what he did. It's a very, very cool film. Johnny Depp does a great job in this movie. Terry Gilliam directs this. Of course, so you got all these wonky, freaky visuals. I loved it personally. I think it's a great movie. I think it belongs in everybody's collection. But to each his own when it comes to stuff like this. You can make your decision whether you like this one or not. Next up is Tunes of Glory. And this one's kind of a downbeat one. It's by Ronald Neame. And it stars, of course, Sir John Mills and Alec Guinness, I think. Yes, Sir Alec Guinness. And just really, really great film. It's a war film. It deals with respect between military men. And it's tragic. It's heartbreaking. I actually got this one here at a 99-cent sale once. I kid you not. This is the only Criterion I've gotten for 99 cents. But it was fantastic. I had no idea that it was Criterion when I picked it up. I looked at it, saw the Criterion thing, grabbed it up right away, came back and watched it. It was a heartbreaking film. I enjoyed it myself. Next up is one I think that belongs in everybody's collection, but I'm not sure if this is the definitive version of it. I've heard that there is a better version that is a UK release, but it's a movie that I think everybody should have in their collection, no matter what release you want to get. That's Unibaba. Unibaba is a film that is so magnificently wonderful in its visuals, in the way that it looks, and its style, that could almost be a silent film. You could almost have no words in this at all, and you would totally get this film. It's haunting, it's creepy, it has a great little story, and the score in this film is fantastic. I love the music in this one here. It's a great film. It's number 226 in the Criterion Collection. There's a UK edition that's supposed to have a better print. I'm looking forward to seeing this one maybe get a bigger Criterion edition down the road. I think this is one that they could revisit with the Blu-ray. Next up is Eyes Without a Face, and without a doubt, yes, pick this up. It is a fantastic film. I love this movie. And again, I got to talk about visuals again because that's what we're getting a lot of here. A lot of great, amazing visuals, a lot of just amazing storytelling, and this film is haunting. It left an impression with me. Eyes Without a Face was something that I really, really enjoyed. Love the interviews on this one. It had a bit of a weird slaughterhouse documentary type thing, but I could see why it was there. The booklet in this one is extremely cool. I just really love this movie. Next up is Kicking and Screaming by Noah Baumbach. And again, it's a 90s film. This one's not for everybody. I would not suggest this as one of your first goes. Honestly, if you're want to look for something along this lines, go for Wes Anderson. Not that this is a bad film, but I can honestly tell you that I don't really remember much about this film right now, and I would have to rewatch this again before I could actually give you guys a solid recommendation for it. Next up is one that I pick up. I always pick up an experimental one. I suggest you do that too. When you're going through the Criterion, if you got enough money to just put some aside to pick up something that's very different, just something unique that you just want to try, something that's going to broaden your horizons, your thoughts, and your concepts. And with me, for last time it was science is fiction. Just an incredible collection of films. 23 films by John Penleve. really great stuff. I mean, basically, he had this is a lot. This is like I think a 3-disc set, and a huge booklet, and it has a lot of like scientific, scientific sort of little short films, like just marine life stuff, and just things that you would think would be kind of mundane and blah are actually really, really good. This is an amazing set. I got this from my better half, who was a marine biologist. Well, she's got her master's in marine biology, but fell in love with this one here. I love a lot of stuff. And this was a great documentary on here. Haven't really got to sit down and watch it all yet, but I really got to do that. Just so many great Criterions that are right there. This is another one that I really do recommend if you like the experimental stuff. Next up is one that I recommend to all horror fans, and that is House. House is such a trippy, freaky, cool movie, and it's hard to explain House. It's just an experience that you have to go through. It's a sensual, not sensual. It's a sensory experience. The visuals, the music, just the overall trippiness of this. It is a very experimental, very different film, and people mostly fall in love with this film when they see it. I think you will too. Check it out. House, fantastic film. Next up is Ministry of Fear. Fritz Lang. Now this is one of the lower price ones, because basically these here have not a lot of features on them. This one has an interview, basically, is about it, and of course the booklet on the inside, which is actually on a little of the lighter end. But Ministry of Fear is a Fritz Lang movie, and it of course it stars Ray Milland. I'm a real big fan of Ray Milland. Dan Duryea is in this film. I love Dan Duryea's work. I think he's really underrated. And Napier's in this. Just an incredible little film. It's kind of like a pop water. It's a cool little thriller. It's a spy film. Great cover art on this one here. Great presentation to the film. I loved it. I highly recommend it. If you're into the Hitchcock, into that type of stuff, Ministry of Fear is a really cool film. One more now before we turn this one off and we go through the next, because it's going to take a second part of the film, sadly. But René Clément's movie Purple Noon. I really like this film. It's basically the French version, the original version of Talented Mr. Ripley. It, of course, stars Alain Delon, who was incredible in the role. I really like this version of the film. It's different than the remake that would be done years later. And of course, the Patricia Highsmith, the author of this, is the same person that penned Strangers on a Train, but which Alfred Hitchcock would do later on. Just some great stuff. If you haven't checked this one out, it's really cool one to check out. There's a great interview on this one as well. Very cool stuff. I did a pretty comprehensive review on this one early on in my channel if you want to check it out. And for me right now, I'm almost out of time, so we're going to pick this up in the next video. And while this is all loading up, it's time for tea.